Travis Wayne Goodsell. This is a continuation of the battle with the Mormon author William Migley. What's his last name? Is that it? I guess P is the middle name. I have to check the previous comments. Let's go to the original one. I guess I found it on Amazon. Whatever. Let's see. Where did he leave off? Yeah, again. I should have waited until after this project is finished. This is a distraction technique. We're in Armageddon. It's the end of the world. And we have Mormons who are in denial, who are pulling out fraudulent claims, fallacious arguments. Do I need to teach you all about fallacy, William? Do you understand what a fallacy is? The Book of Mormon is not true just because you created this North American model. Or America, because, you get so picky with the spelling and pronunciation. I don't give a damn. It makes no difference to me. There are numerous Mormons who created models. Yours is just one of many. And you think you're right, and so therefore you want yours specifically pronounced. It's like names. We're all caught up on phonetics nowadays. In the origin, it had nothing to do with phonetics. It was all about the spelling. All about the pictures that were used for the makeup of the name. And we've strayed from that, and everybody gets picky. My dad, for example, it has to be good sell. It cannot be good soul. It can't be the origin of our name, God soul. But anyway, the argument that you're using can be summed up by comparing Star Wars and Star Trek. I'm pretty sure you know those two franchises. Star Wars, Galaxy Far, Far Away, the whole fictional, science fiction created world. And then Star Trek, again, a futuristic world based on Earth that travels out into space in search of new frontiers, to boldly go where no man has gone before. There are on YouTube a gazillion videos comparing Star Wars and Star Trek as to which was the better technology, which battleship can beat the other battleship, and blah blah blah. And then you even include other sci-fi shows like Battlestar Galactica, which was written and originated with the Mormon. Can't remember his name offhand, but he was a Mormon. That's why you have the 12 tribes and the 13 colonies, the lost 13th goes to Earth, and blah blah blah. And so, if a person could create a model, like you're trying to talk about here, to show where Star Wars is located in space, or somebody who can demonstrate that their opinion that the Star Wars Death Destroyer could easily beat the Enterprise in a battle, does that make them right? The answer is no. It's a useless argument, because the whole thing is based upon fiction, science fiction. It's not based upon truth. And that's where you've gone wrong. You started with the presupposition that the Book of Mormon was ancient history, real history, written by the ancients in America. And so therefore, you then skipped doing the research on the book to prove it was correct and went right to, hey, now we need to find the location. And so you created your North America model. Again, you need to prove the book first. If you don't find the book, you don't get to claim that your model is better than others. Do you not understand that? 82 years, what did you do with your life? Because obviously it had nothing to do with science. Any field of science, real hardcore science. And so, yeah, you may have done the archaeology. You may have uncovered the actual people on the North America model. Great! That doesn't prove they're Nephites. Do you not understand the difference? Because apologists don't, so I'm assuming you don't either. You are deceiving Mormons and letting them believe your model is correct and that it proves the Book of Mormon is true. You are a deceiver. And so what you're talking about here, oh, it goes back to Lehi's journey in the Middle East. Yeah, the frankincense trail. Everybody knew it. Back in those days, people specifically went on these journeys, these vacation trips, to go hunting, to go on a travel, to meet the strange cultures and watch them dance in the cultural halls of the church. Yes, I'm mocking Mormons, because that's how they treat other non-white cultures. They love to watch the Polynesians do their dance, their primitive dancing. It's a white supremacist tactic. And so yes, everybody in the 18th century and into the 19th century knew about the frankincense trail. Many people traveled it. They knew. And that's all it was. And so anybody could have gotten that, and Solomon Spaulding did. And what else do you talk about? Land of promise, freaking Southern Ontario, Eastern United States, Gulf of Mexico, blah, blah, blah. Again, you haven't proven the Book of Mormon. Because the plagiarism, and like I said, dozens. I think it's my testimony of the Book of Mormon. I'm not going to advertise it, I'm just going to point you in the direction of the book that I did. It was a publication of my notes while I was doing the research, and I collected all of the plagiarism of the Book of Mormon. I intended to do a playlist to go over it with my Book of Mormon code as well. That was also part of the intention. So yes, I'm an author too. You didn't know that, did you? Well, let's see, my testimony of the Book of Mormon. Let's see if this is the one. My journals. Okay, maybe it's the coming forth of the Book of Mormon. book designed to save the world. This could be it. I don't understand why sign list 2 is showing up in here. Doesn't make any sense. And then the signs. Again, I've proven myself. And here's my popular one. Everybody clicks on this. And that's probably why. Alright. So my files are in this storage device. I'm still working on things. But let's see, the Book of Mormon, I've reconstructed a narrative. No, this is the narrative version. Okay. So it's another title that I can't remember offhand. But I've already done all the list of books that I have found that are plagiarized in the Book of Mormon. And once you establish that the Book of Mormon is plagiarized, guess what it means? The book is not a real history of the American people. It is not of the Nephites, because they're a fiction group, just like Star Wars, just like Star Trek. I love the shows. That doesn't mean I'm going to believe that one day I'm going to meet them and that they'll give me their records. I mean, if you've not seen the movie Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen, it's a perfect example. Sort of. It's a mockery. Okay, and then now you're saying for the record? No. Don't. Solomon Spaulding nor any other early 19th century writer, including Joseph Smith. Again, you're still assuming Joseph Smith was a part of it. He did not write the Book of Mormon. Are you not listening? Turn up your hearing aid. Joseph Smith did not write the Book of Mormon. He didn't translate the Book of Mormon by the gift and power of God either. He had nothing to do with it. His job was sent by his father to go to Harmony, north of Pittsburgh, not the Harmony below the prison where he was arrested in 1826. He was to distract Martin Harris, who was the money man. Martin Harris insisted on being involved. And so Joseph Smith Sr. said, get him out of here. We don't want him around to find out what we're doing. And he took him to Harmony. He pulled his little hat trick that Martin Harris saw him do when Joseph Jr. was working for him. And so Martin Harris knew about the hat trick. All Joseph Smith had to do was make Martin believe so that he would pay for the book. But after 116 pages, Martin said, wait a minute, takes it back to Palmyra, where he was on the committee of anti-Masons. And we're told he's a wicked man now. We're told that it's gone. The 116 pages, gone. Because he's on the anti-Mason committee. As Smith Sr. was a master Mason who helped William Morgan flee the country because his life was in danger. And so here, now you're throwing in another apologetic fallacy, peer review. Peers aren't establishing truth. You can have a majority of peers do an ad populum for your research. Doesn't matter. It doesn't establish truth. That's why you need to understand and learn fallacy. You can figure it out. There's a Wikipedia site for it, and there's other sites that also go over it. Lists of fallacies. Here's 15 logical fallacies that pops up first, and there it is. List of fallacies Wikipedia. It goes over all of them and has links so that you can get further information on each one of them. It's a huge list. It will probably take you to the rest of your life to go over them. And so, please, everybody knew the frankincense trail. Everyone. That's what the rich were doing with their life. They would go to Africa, they would go to India, they would go to the Middle East and Egypt, because that's what the rich did back then. And then they would write about it, and everybody would go, oh wow! See, the guy that came with the mummies, he was the same type of thing. He went and did it, he got some mummies, brought them to America, went around place to place having people pay him as he showed them the mummies. He was a carny man. Joseph Smith, however, goes, hey, wait a minute, Egyptian. I'm all about Egyptian with the York rites and such. That's how he became acquainted with it and made sure to buy them. And yes, I'm a bit testy. You're an old man. You need to turn up your hearing aid. You need to study what you've failed to study in your life. You've wasted your life. If this is what you've spent your whole life doing, you've wasted it. And you might as well have been born yesterday. And you're not even going to send a PDF? Okay. I don't have an interest in your book. You're not going to extort me. I have no interest in your book. You have not proven a single shred of anything that would interest me in your book. Because, why? I have fruit. Faith without fruit is dead. You have faith, you have no fruit. It's dead. And so, no, I'm not interested in your book. And you're going to comp me after the fact? No. You're trying to monopolize on the crisis that we're going through in America. And that's why this is the last video. I will not be commenting anymore. This is the end. Because you are trying to take advantage of people by getting them to give you money when they need to buy food and sanitation and hygiene. That's top priority now. And I don't care what your model is. I don't care. Again, it's like battling which Star Wars or Star Trek. Which one's better? Which one will dominate in a war? Who cares? It's all just entertainment. It's all based on opinion. Because it's not based on fact. And so, yes, were there Indians in North America? Yes. But everybody was talking about it in the 1800s. Everybody was wanting something to tantalize their itching ears. You know, Lewis and Clark. Everybody wanted to know about that because they met the savages. No, everybody knew. Lawrence of Arabia. I mean, it's probably the early 1900s, but I don't know. I can Google it. We have that technology still. We haven't shut that down yet. What time period was Lawrence of Arabia? 1888. Okay, so yeah, early 1900s. So probably 100 years too late for you. But that's just following the pattern of his father and his grandfather and others who were rich. Because remember, the Rosetta Stone was discovered right at the end of the 18th century. How was it discovered if nobody was there, visiting the land, touring, archaeology digs? Everybody was. Why? Because of the Bible. People wanted to prove their Bible interpretation was correct. They just didn't use the archaeological standards that are necessary for an accurate interpretation. But everybody knew the frankincense trail. Again, you're 81 years old. How did you know about maps? Did you not serve in the wars? Were you not a cartographer? What the hell? Oh, we can't do anything unless we have Google Maps. It's just ridiculous. I mean, they've been doing maps into the BCs. My hell. And you go on maps. Yeah, it's all irrelevant. And see, again, you're assuming that the North Carolina Blue Ridge Mountains, not far from the city of Lehi, Nephi. Again, do you see what you've done there? It's like saying, oh, Sirius, it's not too far from Capricorn, where the Battlestar Galactica people resided, or Caprica, or I think they called it. You know, you just don't get it. That's what's so frustrating about you Mormons. I'm born and raised, grew up among you, moved here in '96. And you guys have been bullying me ever since. Because that's all you're doing, William. You're a bully. And that's why I'm not going to continue this debate any further. Because you're not using sound argument. I can't debate with someone who can't be sound. And so now you're trying to pacify me here at the end. You do sound like someone who does like truth. I assume that you are not afraid of checking out this potential source. See, you set a trap, thinking that, I want truth. I better go buy your book. You're a dumbass. No, I'm not buying it. You can go to hell. We're done. Brethren, adieu. Brother, adieu, I guess technically, but you have no clue of what that means. It's in the Book of Mormon. It's in the last book of Jacob, last chapter of Jacob. And it's referring to the plagiarism of the mystic tie. And because it's the mystic tie, you then have to understand that, the mystic tie was by the famous Scottish Rites Mason, who was given a farewell address to the particular lodge. And so then you realize, okay, Scottish Rites. Scottish Rites believe they were founded with the mythical person Jacobite. Jacob, Book of Jacob. Huh, interesting. Jacobite, Brethren Adieu, Scottish Rites, Mystic Tie. Then you start listening to what he's saying previous to saying Brethren Adieu. That's how you figure out the Book of Mormon code. Because it's not an actual history of a man named Jacob who wrote that book. Get over yourself, William. Because we're through.